I'm gonna do before we get into this. I'm gonna do a PSA for all as being the old head for all young men out there that are recently married. You got a new girlfriend. You've been married. Whatever you do, you make sure to go get your girl some flowers, her favorite candy, whatever it may be. Take her out on a date Wednesday night because she ain't gonna see you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You, yeah, you need to set this up now so you don't get, when football season's here, I'm not going to see you again and all this because you're busy Thursday night, you're busy Friday night, you're busy Saturday night with college football, and you're definitely busy all day Sunday. So get it out of the way now. It's a piece of advice. Take her out Wednesday and show her a good time because you need those points now.
Carlos is definitely a man for the people. Great advice coming from the veteran. A veteran myself, I put in my 2 weeks notice 3 weeks ago. So I am well prepared for this week and for the NFL season. And my family is well aware that football Sunday is right around the corner. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beard Zone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos. I got Scooter. And gentlemen, it has been 207 long, painful days since the last time we were able to watch an NFL game on TV. But, boys, the wait is finally over and we are here. And what a way to kick it off the NFL this season. We have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. But wait, we are not done there yet. We're also going to be covering the Friday game. Yes, we get the NFL this Friday, and that is going to be the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. A first time for the NFL being down there and hosting the game down there. So it should be absolutely electric. But before we get into this episode, first of all, if you are new here, welcome to the Beard Zone Sports Talk, where the takes are almost as bold as the beards. But go ahead and do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and definitely turn on the notification bell because you do not want to miss a single episode this year and this NFL season. So, but fellas, let's jump right into it. We got the NFL kicking off today. It is Thursday night, and usually the Thursday night games don't hit like this, but we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We have the team that won the Super Bowl for the past 2 seasons, and they are going for a three-peat. Their season starts tonight versus a team that has tasted it for the last couple of seasons. They have a MVP, two-time MVP quarterback with Lamar Jackson and a brand new workhorse in the backfield with Derrick Henry. This is going to be a game that should be a lot of fun. Gentlemen, what's going to happen tonight? What are we in for? That's what I'm asking. That's the real question. What are we in for?
I'm going to do, before we get into this, I'm going to do a PSA for all, as being the old head, for all young men out there that are recently married. You got a new girlfriend, you've been married, whatever you do. You make sure to go get your girl some flowers, her favorite candy, whatever it may be. Take her out on a date Wednesday night because she ain't going to see you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You need to set this up now so you don't get, when football season's here, I'm not going to see you again and all this because you're busy Thursday night, you're busy Friday night, you're busy Saturday night with college football, and you're definitely busy all day Sunday. So get it out of the way now. It's a piece of advice. Take her out Wednesday and show her a good time because you need those points now.
Carlos is definitely a man for the people. Great advice coming from the veteran. A veteran myself, I put in my 2 weeks notice 3 weeks ago. So I am well prepared for this week and for the NFL season. And my family is well aware that football Sunday is right around the corner. Scooter, Chiefs, Ravens. This is going to be the start of maybe a historical season for the Kansas City Chiefs if they are the ones who are hoisting the Lombardi trophy at the end. And God help us if Travis Kelce proposes, I might just give up on life. But what are you going? What is your prediction? Are the Ravens going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs, or are the Chiefs back and they're ready and they're fresh? They got a lot of weapons now. Rashee Rice is good for game one. Big news for fantasy owners.
All I'm saying is if you haven't to put in your 2 weeks notice or get in the flowers, there's always recording. You can record the games and turn your social media off so you don't get upset.
Because then you'll get the live reaction.
Yeah, you won't get the live reaction. And if you do, just get YouTube TV and just kind of be like, yeah, I'm having a great time. No, don't do that. You're going to get hit. Back to business, right? Chiefs, Ravens, man. AFC divisional or championship game, depending on how things play out. This is kind of your precursor game to that. Patrick Mahomes, you can't count him out. You got Andy Reid. You also got the police department arresting like every wide receiver that's played for the Chiefs. It's either that or reckless driving. And then you got the Ravens, the new revamped Ravens. You got Mark Andrews back. You got Derrick Henry. Dude, we're going to see Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the backfield. This is insane. MVP versus MVP, Super Bowl champ versus not. I feel like there's too much on the line for the Ravens to lose. That's just me. I'm not a Ravens fan. I'm not a Chiefs fan. History would show choose Mahomes. Let's be honest here. But there's so much that I think at stake for the Baltimore Ravens, John Harbaugh, Lamar, and moving forward with all these contracts and, King Henry, right? We got the legacy there. I feel like this is the legacy landmark game for Lamar and John Harbaugh to make sure that there's a staple moving forward. I would like to go with the Ravens here. I don't like betting against Mahomes, but early in the season, it's been shown it takes a little bit to get going, right? I think it was 2 seasons ago where they kind of lost 2 games in the early part of the season, and they made a comeback. You still got Travis Kelce, you got Rashee Rice, you got Pacheco, you got Chris Davis. You got they just took an injury, I think, in the linebacking core.
Well, Hollywood Brown is injured.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown is injured too.
And they have rookie Xavier Worthy now at the helm. The speedster out there,
which he'll either be John Ross or he'll actually be good. So we'll see if true speed translates well. I think Andy Reid is an excellent coach to bring some speed into that offense. This could be incredibly high scoring, but if you look at it from a defensive perspective, it might be tight. It might be kicker versus kicker. You got Justin Tucker versus Butker. So, who are both very good kickers, by the way, and very clutch. This could easily go into overtime as the number 1 game. Honestly, I think it squeaks out in the run game and the clock management from John Harbaugh. And I think the Ravens take it. I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all on either side. I think it's going to keep it close. I would say that if anyone wins by more than 7, I'd be shocked. I would take the Ravens by 3 in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the Chiefs were really good on defense last year, and then they lose some opponents. They lose Snead to the Titans. Gay at linebacker, he moves on. I mean, Chris Jones is still there, and they still have some core up front, but Nick Bolton at linebacker. It's going to be interesting how losing those couple key pieces on defense to see how the new pieces fit with that defense, because the Snead is a big loss for them. It's hard to find top end corners that can do what he did. So I can't think of a better game to start the year off. Mahomes, Lamar, like electric quarterbacks, but their electricity is in 2 different ways. Mahomes is what angles he going to throw the ball from, to who, he's got his new toy with Worthy out there. Is Kelce, I think he's going to make it back from the Taylor Swift tour. So I think he'll be good for the game. So It's
Good
gonna, man. You couldn't set up a perfect first game. Mark Andrews is back. You got Derrick Henry in this new offense for him. Is he gonna be? Does he take a step back because he's 30? And at 30, that's the tradition that you're not the same. But this isn't a normal running back, so I'm curious. There are a lot of questions for Lamar. I have him on my fantasy team. I hope he kills it, but is there's still a couple holes in that wide receiving core. They have Zay Flowers, but Rashad Bateman's not. I mean, after that, it kind of goes downhill, and then Andrews. So, but you have Lamar, man. That guy is electric, and any moment could just break one for 70 yards or throw it for the same amount. So it's going to be, man, I can't wait for this game. This is going to be a heck of a game. I'm curious to see Xavier Worthy. Is he going to be as advertised? You see the highlights in practice. And Andy Reid is a mastermind. I can't think of a better coach in football right now. This guy, he gets shiny new toys, and man, he makes them look good. So I'm curious to see about Rashee Rice too. I have him on my fantasy football team as well. So I'm curious. There's some curiosity with the Chiefs, but man, do they 3P? That's got to be that's tough. But I actually am going to take the Ravens on this one, man. I think they come in, and I just think it's going to be a lot for the Chiefs and everything going on, and I think the Ravens are coming in with a chip on their shoulder. Their defense is good. They've got a really good defense, so I can. It's going to be a heck of a game. I find in the beginning it's probably going to be a little bit back and forth. That first quarter, maybe like a 3-3, 3-0. But dang, we even got the matchup of like two of the best kickers in the league, like Tucker but like, man, I can't think of another one, man. I am excited.
Yeah, should be a really good game. I'm going to be the lone wolf here. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I get it. Everyone wants to kind of pick the Ravens because they're a good team to pick to go up against this team, and it should be one heck of a game. Let's not forget though, this defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, I think, was third last year in just total defense. So I mean, they're a good defensive unit. I understand that they lost Snead, big impact to their secondary. But Andy Reid, he's a smart coach. He's going to be able to dial some stuff up there on that defensive side. And of course, I mean, you just don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Last year in the home opener, they did lose to the Detroit Lions, which was a big shock. And it kind of said, hey, Detroit is here this year. And we saw what Detroit was able to do. Not to say that Ravens aren't going to be who we think they are, but I just think that it's home. They have, not to say also, of course, every NFL team at the beginning of the year, hey, this is our year. We're 0-0. We're going for the Lombardi at the end of the year. But the Chiefs have a special mission this year. And to have Mahomes have that sort of motivation now to do what no one has ever done, because if he does this, okay, now we're looking at talks. Now we're really looking at talks about the greatest of all time, the greatest quarterback. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. I know you guys are excited for it. Let us know who you guys are thinking down there in the comments. Shout out your team if one of those teams are the team that you rock with. Let's move on to the Friday game. Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles. This one's in Brazil, so definitely a little bit different. Two northern teams. It's gonna be humid down there. Okay, so they're gonna be maybe some elements, that they're not used to, maybe some climates that they're not used to. But both of these teams kind of had polar opposite endings to their years last year, right? You have on one end the Philadelphia Eagles, which started off as an absolute buzzsaw of a team, which I think that they won. I think they went like 10-0, and then they ended up losing out pretty much the rest of the year. And then, of course, getting knocked off by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a big-time loss in the divisional round, in the wild card round last year. And then you had the Green Bay Packers. Started off a little bit rocky. There was a lot of questions with the Jordan Love. Is he going to be the guy? Having to fill the shoes of Aaron Rodgers is no easy task. But then the guy starts getting into his groove. There was a stretch of like 6 or 7 weeks where Jordan Love was seriously probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, if not the best quarterback in the NFL in that time frame. And they went in to Dallas, they upsetted the Cowboys, and by golly, they almost beat the 49ers in San Francisco. So, two completely separate endings to their seasons. Both teams are looking to, just kind of, Packers are looking to come in off of the momentum. Philadelphia Eagles are looking to kind of hit the reset button. There's a lot of question with Nick Sirianni at the head coach, with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. If this season doesn't pan out as everyone hopes that it should, and as we think that they're gonna do, does he have a job? Is he on the hot seat? Should Jalen Hurts be the guy of the future? I think so. It's crazy to me that Nick Sirianni is questioned to be a head coach. The guy has proven himself year in and year out. But it should be a good game. I am going to be taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that they're just going to be, they're a good team. I like what they did on their defense. They got Gardner Johnson back at safety. They added Devin White there in the middle of the field, which I know a lot of Tampa fans might say, hey, it's just going to be added weight, but the guy is a hell of a playmaker there in the middle of the field. He brings a lot of energy. And then they added some serious defensive backs there on the outside to cover wide receivers in the draft. I think Darius Slay is out for this, so that's going to be a big blow for them, but I still like them in Brazil against the Green Bay Packers this week.
I don't know. I think you still got Bradbury back there, too. You got Cooper DeJean in the secondary. They're kind of bouncing him around everywhere. Eagles absolutely have to prove themselves. I think Sirianni, I don't think is in the hot seat from my view, but it's Philly. It's win or get fired. That's just how this works. And Philly has a pretty brutal fan base when it comes to losing. Let's be real here. Same thing with New England. And Packers really haven't experienced a losing season in a long time. So I would say that the Eagles are a huge threat to the NFC for the East, outside of the Cowboys, right? I think Jalen Hurts is still a good package as a quarterback. I think he shows good accuracy. I think they need to utilize the run more with DeAndre Swift. That's just me. You still got A.J. Brown. You still got Devonta Smith. You got half the Georgia Bulldogs on your D-line. So why not? On paper, they look spectacular. It's just, do they execute? I think that's the problem that they had in the second half of last season for the Eagles. They just did not execute well. There weren't clean blocks. Defense was all over the place, even though they're great on paper. They couldn't get pressure. I think it's just how well they execute in reality for this game. You got the Green Bay Packers who, like you said, started out rocky and then just kind of blew everyone's mind last season in the second half. Jordan Love has shown great maturity at the position for quarterback. Still, they no longer have Aaron Jones. That's a shocker. And I believe they lost Dylan, too, for this game.
They lost Dylan. They do have Josh Jacobs. So.
Yeah, they got Josh Jacobs. Kind of shocked with that move there, but he is a good power runner. Let's be honest here. He's going to move the ball whether you like it or not. You got Christian Watson and Dobbs. There's a ton of youth and a lot of spark in this Packers team that I think is going to cause a lot of problems again this year for the NFC. These two games, the NFL, just kudos for the script writing here. I don't want to go with you on this, Dave, but I really like the Eagles in this game.
Yeah.
It's just, can they execute? Can Sirianni really put them in a position to win? Can they execute and stop this extreme youth that the Packers have? I think LaFleur, from a tactician side, is fantastic, but the Eagles absolutely need to execute. I would take the Eagles by like a touchdown.
And it's gonna be this is another hell of a game, man. It's going to be a good game in the trenches, man. That Eagles O-line is good, but that Packers D-line is good too with Rashawn Gary, got Kenny Clark, Preston Smith. They got a little bit of a revamp secondary with Xavier Kinney they get from the Giants, who I'm a huge fan of. And then, of course, they got Jair Alexander back there. So, man, it's a tough one. And then you got the new look. My question is with Jalen Hurts, Can he rebound? Does he rebound? Does he start this game off a little rocky, and then some of the memories of last year when they lose like the last 6 games come back into play? And I mean, he's got every offensive weapon he can think of. He's got Saquon Barkley back there. He's got a new toy, AJ Devontae, Dallas Goedert. The O line is still good, even though they lose Kelsey. It's still top end. Man, I don't know. There's some questions on both sides, and even Jordan Love. He's in technically a sophomore year, but does he continue where he left off and with that young receiving core on there? Now he's got a healthy Christian Watkins, hopefully all year for him, for those Packer fans. But these are 2 really good teams, man, and their strengths. The Eagles O line, Packers D line. Eagles receivers, their secondary is good, so they're matching up strength versus strength. So I really think this goes down to the quarterback play. Is Hurts, is he come back? Vic Fangio is the new defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Is he, he should provide a spark for them, just being one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. So it's going to be interesting, but I do think that quarterback play is where this is going to determine this game. And I don't know which way to lean. Like the thing I know, if either quarterback gets in trouble, because both O-lines are, they can go back to the running game. So it's going to be super interesting, and it's in Brazil, which is interesting in itself if they get out of there. But man, I'm gonna go on. I'm taking the Packers here, man. I think they keep that momentum, and they're young, and this team has just they had the end of the year with so much ahead of steam, and just had so much good to build off of, and and LaFleur he's a great coach. So I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. I think it's going to be a close one, but it's going to be a heck of a game, man. But I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm going to use this as my like sleeper pick here. The Pack go.
Go Pack go. Scooter mentioned it. The NFL did it right this year. They definitely are kicking us off with 2 fantastic games, so I cannot wait. And then we're just going to Sunday, with our favorite teams playing. So, but we will be covering some of those games for our Friday, for our Friday episode. So it should be a ton of fun. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun. So, quick PSA. For our listeners, for those of you who are listening to this episode, I mentioned it in our college episode on Wednesday. But for those of you who are listening today on Thursday, for our NFL fans who listen to us, moving forward, starting next week, we're going to be having an episode come out Tuesdays, which is going to be NFL. Wednesdays are going to be our college episode. And then we're also going to be doing an NFL episode on Fridays. The Tuesday episodes are going to be kind of the recap of the week that was. Where Friday, we're going to look kind of forward into the week and to the games that we'll be playing, that weekend, and kind of looking at some key matchups. And, of course, bringing you all the story headlines and everything that comes with the NFL season. So, but do us a favor. Go ahead and leave a comment down there in the comment section, and let us know who you guys think are going to be walking away with their first win of the season between these 2 games. And hit that subscribe button. That is the best way to continue to support us. But until next week, we have Football Sunday. So until next week,
Beard Zone